Wagwan sports fans, welcome back to another very special episode of Studio Talks. I am your host with the most, Joe Mara.
I'm Rush.
And this is This or That Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most interesting and riveting sports topics, discussions, and debates on the internet.
Yes, Steve. But before we get into today's episode of Studio Talk, don't forget to like this one, leave a comment on that video, and subscribe to This or That Sports TV. Do one more thing though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us just 6 subscribers. Because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers get us by the end of the day? Almost
One lead.
bro.
Yeah, one whole lead. So we have a few things to talk about today. National football again, international football again, reggae boys and reggae girls stuff. So we're gonna get right into it. But before we do that, bro, how you doing? How you doing, brother? It's been a couple of days. How you doing?
Why has it been a couple of days?
Huh?
Why has it been a couple of days?
No, we had a big weekend and some announcements coming soon, but cool, man. But how you doing though? Answer the question.
My weekend was not as good as your weekend.
Yeah, no man, I had a great weekend, bro. I had a great weekend. And people leave some.
Yes, because your weekend was as good as it was. That's the only thing we kind of bring over my weekend. You know the way?
I don't lie. Yeah. People will drop some. Talk to me in a live chat. What do you think? What happened this weekend? It was big news. You see me, some people are very happy. So yeah, it was a real good weekend, bro. And I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm not so excited about the national football at the moment, but still seeing some signs of optimism. So we're going to talk about it. Is it?
That is it.
We're going to kick off the first segment. We're going to talk about the under 17 reggae boys. Who is to blame for this failure? Is it a failure? We're going to talk about it and more in the next segment of Studio Talk. Stay tuned.
Who to blame?
All right. First of all,
welcome back to Studio Talk, people. This we're going to get into our first segment. Talking about the under 17 reggae boys. Yeah. So, what do you think about the performance and the tournament, bro?
So the tournament, obviously, obviously it was a failure. Obviously, it was a failure. You see me? The point, the whole purpose of going to this tournament was to make it to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And it was World Cup or bust. Semi-finals are failure. That's what it was. I don't know what the coaches told the team. I don't know what the JFF told the coaches. But this is the expectations that the fans went into this tournament with. Are we going to the World Cup? So if we're going from that standpoint, it was a failure. And it was a massive failure at that. In the group stage, it's clear that we were the best team. We didn't finish number one. We got a I'd say favorable opposition in the second round. In hindsight, clearly it's not. But going into that, we would have expected more from the team. Never happened. So yes, was a failure. Now to answer that question, to you, was this a failure for you?
You just have to moderate, though.
You know that it didn't have nature, but go on.
Bro, as in, it's clearly a failure. I think I was pretty impressed with how we got off in the first 90 plus 45.
That you can't say 1.5 game in the brother. That deep.
The first game and a half. Oh boy. The first game and a half. Yeah, I can just go with that. I was pretty impressed. And not even so. The first 70 minutes, then the last 20 minutes was, and then the first 40 minutes of the next game. So all in all, we saw like an initial 110 minutes of football, outstanding football in the first game. And
Yeah.
I was very impressed, and I was like, okay, this amount of football that we played at that level, that can possibly get us to the World Cup. Then we came out and we played against Costa Rica, who I think was one of our more outstanding performances against a quote unquote top dog in CONCACAF, who were eliminated by Puerto Rico, I might add. On penalties. That was a big, big shock result. That was karma. That was karma because the Puerto Rican goalkeeper just kept making save after save, and Puerto Rico continued to be lucky. They made it into penalty shootout, and Costa Rica couldn't score a penalty.
Yeah.
So we got Costa Rica. We had them on the back foot. We scored 2 goals. We were playing well. We were keeping possession of the ball. We looked like a football team that came out there to play. Rough calls went against us. Me and you kind of spoke about the situation. You are giving it all to the referee, and I'm giving 70% of it to the referee, and the rest of it to the players and the coach, because I think they had to adjust. Going into Guatemala game, based on the statistics, based on how that game turned out, it seemed as though Jamaica was absolutely outplayed. And what could have attributed to that?
Man, obviously after the tournament you have to look at it in totality. And so we have to call some people into the court right now. Into this side that Sports TV court. First up, we have the JFF. What part do they play?
Am I the judge, the prosecutioner, the attorney at law?
Right now we are play all of the role them right now. So we have to defend them. We have to put the charges to them, and we are the judge. So we have the final judgment. You see me? So what role does the JFF play in this failure? I know what part I want to say that they play, but let me hear what you have to say first.
All right. The people against the Jamaica Football Federation, the first matter that needs to be adjudicated over. I start by saying the team should have been better prepared.
Yeah.
They should have been given more time to prepare. Like, these boys should have been organized and put together for years. We spoke to Ryan. Ryan came on our channel a few streams ago, and he said that in his year that he feels that he was, he was wrongfully left off of that squad, which qualified to the World Cup. He said that they were together from they were 15 years old, and it showed by how they played in the qualifiers. I remember watching that qualifiers, obviously much younger than I am right now. 10 years younger, 12 years, 13 years younger. Wow, 13 years ago. Man, it's been a while, huh?
2011, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute, bro. But yeah, a long time ago, I remember watching those qualifiers and seeing how those. But it was kept in Jamaica too, Catherine Hall. That's where those qualifiers were played, and it seemed like the perfect storm. Qualifying for the World Cup at home, and we came out there, we played together. The boys looked like a cohesive unit. They were resilient, they were strong, they fought, and let's be fair, that was a ridiculously talented couple of individuals that we had on that team. But preparation, and unfortunately we've seen it in a recurring theme for the last couple of campaigns where these boys are just put together in the last minute, and not much can come of that, especially when the talent is not overwhelming. Our next charge that I would lay against the JFF is the inability to get the overwhelming talent that could have put us over the hump. So fine, the boys weren't able to be prepared. And you have other teams, one other team, to be honest, which is United States of America, that has a few players that play overseas. So I guarantee you that while these boys are in the ramp up and playing practice matches, a lot of the USA's top stars would not have been training together in camp with them. In addition to the fact that they have MLS starters, like they have goal scorers in the MLS, they have top players in the MLS who would be preoccupied with playing professional football and making a living. So as such, they're not able to constantly be in camp and to constantly play with each other for years and years and years and years. But they have the overwhelming talent. The teams that don't possess such talent are teams that play consistently together. Mexico is a team with overwhelming talent, but Mexico also has their team coming from the 15s straight up. These boys, yes, they're all playing at the Liga MX level, but they're also training together consistently. And Mexico, in terms of talent, is way better than we are. So imagine if teams like Mexico and you see this Puerto Rico team, they've been having something going. Apparently Trinidad have been having a program going for a while as well. they're obviously going to outplay us. They're obviously going to be better than us. You know, like this is a lackluster, hurry come up, as Jamaicans would say, slapdash put together team.
Yeah.
And because of that, which was the first charge against them, what could have overcome this offense would have been getting the Lovelaces on the team, getting the Humphreys on the team, getting those players who are exceptional talents that could have come in and made a difference. And
Look at most of the teams, their preparation is better than us, and their teams.
exactly.
You know, I would say.
Or inability to sort out travel documents for these players, whatever the reason might be. Or like, bro, I don't care. Them left up to the parents. I don't know international law. I don't know about human trafficking. I don't know anything like that, right? I'm not a law student or a crime student.
Mm-hmm.
What I do know, however, is that even if the parents are going to get it, you can provide aid. I'm certain you can provide aid for. I'm certain that you can pull strings at the consulate. Like there's no international law against providing a special passport for an individual for whatever reason it might be. There are expenses that you can pay. You can pay more money to get your passport express. You get me? I say if there are special people that can get expedited passports, so fine. It may have to be the parents who get it. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think not goes so. But put in the comment section the international law that prohibits football federations and our governments from helping people to get passports. Put that in the comment section and I'll see it and I'll concede. But I don't think that's a thing. But even if it is a thing, we can provide consequential aid, like serious aid to help these people get the passports for their child, get the documents for their children. If they are even slightly interested, we can make it.
At the very least, better than what we did. At the very least, better than what we did. I don't know what was that.
You might ask people to reach out to people and I beg people to get them. So me for travel from Glasgow or Manchester, for go London, to get a passport for my son come carry Yuga World Cup. When my son literally I play professional football and I make him own the money. Bridging go out in the passport here, man.
Yeah, the only way the passport thing should be an issue. Our paperwork thing is just if you can't find the passport and then you have to go through a whole rigmarole for go, come to Jamaica or get in contact with your family member in Jamaica to go to the office to find your original birth.
It shouldn't be getting in contact with a family member. It should be getting in contact with a representative from the JFF.
Yeah, and then just get
somebody for there for drive go Manchester, go Mandeville, to come carry grandma, go up a RGD or wherever you want to call it.
Yeah. That's the only way me even see a bit of a challenge. Other than that, no, you can't. I don't think you should be asking people to do that. But in terms of this tournament, though, the biggest thing that I'm going to lay at the feet of the JFF is just the preparation, bro. You give them 1.5 months to prepare for a tournament to go to the World Cup. One, that's not enough for a lot of and especially with a team where a lot of the players are playing in the country. Especially for the fact that you're going to call up 50 people. You're going to call up 50 people a month and a half away from the tournament. That means that you're trained and then say 3 weeks or 4 weeks away from the tournament, you cut it down to 32. You still not have a team,
Yeah.
And that is just the crazy part. You should have it.
At the point at 32, I can say that they had the team at the 32. But
yeah, fine.
50, that wasn't a team. That was a trials.
No. Yeah, that's what I say. A month and a half away from the tournament. You offer the 20.
Yeah.
Or at least have your 18, or at least have your 11, or at least have your 15.
Remember, they had 30. I remember them have as a 20-man squad, but them travel with like 25. I'm cutting on to so I'm fine with having 30. Like that's a squad that trains. But with the 50, that's a trials.
You can't have that have a point though. You can't have trials.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah, 2 months before you cannot be having a 2 weeks trials.
No.
Madness.
And the trial will take 2 weeks. So that take out time out of the preparation.
The 32, which you could say was the squad, the 32 was 3 weeks before.
Yeah, that was January.
Yeah, that was so when the squad was like picked, I picked the squad. That was literally 3 weeks before.
Yeah. So the preparation is a thing. No, obviously I haven't heard about any hiccups while here in Guatemala, so You're doing your job, JFM. But they even gonna say props. When I say props, I'm gonna say them just do them job. You're supposed to make sure that there's smooth running happening goes on in Guatemala.
You play alternate law now. We just don't play prosecutor. You play
alternate. Yeah. I make a good case for them.
Yeah.
You see me? So never hear about no transportation hiccups, accommodation hiccups. It seemed like a smooth camp. The jersey for the keeper from the first game.
That's not a JFF fault. I forgot.
That's not a JFF fault.
Bring Adidas in.
But again, bro, what you mean on a JFF fault?
It's not only in a Guatemala. It's happening in Australia as well.
No, the goalkeeper, they have them blue, bro, just now on the crest, which is
exactly. Fine. That's why I said it happening now. Them not on the crest, because they never send the goalkeeper jersey.
True. But the man
bring some goalkeeper jersey come.
Bro, the man are playing just Jamaica merch, basically. I was so funny too, but it worked. For a minute, they had me there. I said, hold on. No. But then I see the coach, I see the bench, and I said, what are the same thing the coach and the physio are on?
Players.
I was so funny.
You know, I love incorporate national color. I've always wondered. Obviously, this is so unimportant. We're not going to spend too much time on it. Like, especially with national teams. If you're a team playing a yellow and black, why your goalkeeper not wear green? Full green. Green, why not? You know, like, why not?
I guess, some feel like some science going on, bro. Not science, sorry, my bad people.
Oh, so
yeah. Like some science going on, like colors that make it look bigger.
Them say they make goalkeepers or neon colors or brighter colors for distract the opponents. That's apparently a thing. Right, so I that's the thing. But then jersey coming off the second game, and the man have on a crystal. I said, Adidas do better, man. Hold on, we are trying Adidas. Adidas not for do the performance still. No, because wait, so you make a case for the JFF, I defend them and you still beat them. Boy, when I done prosecute them already, brethren, it too late.
All right, my bad.
It's too late for lay them more charge. We done lay all of the charge them already.
Yeah, preparation. And what was the other one you said?
And me said the inability to get the best players for play for the country.
Yeah. So that's how them charging. And then me I say, a smooth camp, preparation camp, I guess was good, leading up. So let me do the Orangeburg Center, and that went well.
All right. So
the competition went well.
So for Jamaica not qualifying for the Under-17 World Cup, how do you find the JFF?
Jaja.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, bro.
You find
watching multiple people can't guilty, bro. They get me, I say, and then we have to split to 100%. You see me? So how much percent of the blame them get? How much percent of the blame the coach get? But the JFF have to take some part of the blame. You never get the best players, and the preparation start way too late. So done with them. Moving on.
All of them think they're guilty.
Oh, may I give them something else from the book? May I make another case for them? They got a good coach, bro. I feel like Meron was a good coach. I feel like he did. He showed me enough. But the preparation wasn't enough.
I forgot to try Meron Gordin as well.
We're going to try Meron Gordin, But alright, not good. They got a decent coach. They got a decent coach, bro. I see enough. Meron Gordin look decent, bro.
So JFF is not complicit for the Jamaica not qualifying for the World Cup, or are they complicit? Guilty
they are, but they're going to take a little bit of the blame. Just make another.
How much percent of the blame?
Wait till you just lay out everybody first. I don't want to adjust at the end. I don't want to say 30 now and at the end now, I'm give the coach more players.
Then can JFF go up a remand and them come back for sentencing?
Come back for sentencing. So next up, the coaching staff. You never said just the coach. The coaching staff of the Under-17 regular boys.
Well, Andrew Peart, Meron Gordin.
There we go. Lay a case now, bossy.
All right, so
we get the charges.
I think Russia gonna lean a lot to the attorney side, more so than I am, But I could see how it turned out. But the people versus the JFF, the Under-17 coaching staff, led by one Meron Gordin now. First of all, inability to make in-game preparations, on-the-spot preparations. That's something that I did not see from this coach throughout this competition. I saw where other coaches made preparations and it absolutely left him and his team dead in the water. Football is a chess game, bro. A lot of times it's played from the technical area. And we see that play out a lot in very, very many occasions, especially when the teams are closely matched. So the ability to coach well throughout the game, not only before the game, is, I think, if not just as important, almost as important, managing the team within the technical area. And I think that our coaching staff was at a deficit in this competition. We saw where they came out with an organized and strategic plan, and they got off in every single game they played on a very hot start. But as soon as the other team made adjustments, or as soon as something swung against the favor of the Jamaicans, we saw where they absolutely capitulated. We saw where in 2 occasions they conceded red cards, and it absolutely destroyed their faith. It was a completely different team, especially defensively, and that shows that he was not able to, I'd say, manage the in-game situation or manage the game at that given point in order to kind of overcompensate or to overcome these deficits. And not all the games, he would have suffered red cards too. We saw in the first game that they won. We saw where, like, towards the latter part of the game, when obviously Cuba, are fighting for their lives at this point. They're giving everything they can give, and as such, they would have made adjustments throughout the game. Whether it's advertently or inadvertently, sometimes these things just come because of instinct. Where a team just knows that, okay, we're 3 goals down, we need to go, we have to get going right now, so we're going to start pushing forward, we're going to start being more aggressive. And it looked like that caught Meron Gordin on the back foot, and that allowed Cuba to get a stronghold in that game. You know what I'm saying? That's not acceptable. That's a game that we should have dominated from minute 1 to minute 90. We should have completely controlled that game. We should have taken the pace out of the game. And it's so weird because I saw the goalkeeper taking the pace out of the game when we were up 1-0 against a Cuba team that were absolutely dominating. We're going to talk about the players soon. But in-game adjustments, bro, that's something that I have to put a ding on him. You have any charges where you want to lay?
Say, yes. Adjustments, in-game adjustments and situational adjustments. I have to mark him down a little bit. But you know what? I feel like that has a lot to do with preparation. If you get 1.5 months for a trials and select your team, how easy is it then? And if we are saying that it is JFF fault for not giving them enough time to prepare, how can we then turn around and blame Meron Gordin and say, you should have prepared the man for this? Well, we don't say all the time it's short.
Just a while ago, that would have probably been my second charge, but I did not allude to preparation just now. I was.
You say preparation a lot in the first part,
No, I was saying in-game adjustments. I was saying football is not coaching is not only the preparation, but the ability to manage the game within the technical area is almost or just as important as the preparation before the game. So my point was the inability to make in-game adjustments, the inability to play chess with the opponent's coach, the inability to go tit for tat with the opponent. They make a move and then I make another move to try and overcome or to try and stifle or suffocate that move that they just made. As soon as the opposition did something differently, it really shell-shocked the team. Or as soon as we were faced with some adversity, i.e. a couple of red cards, it really completely turned the way we played all the way around, like in the complete opposite direction. So I wasn't referring to preparation just yet. That's something that I would have laid in my second charge. But in my first one, it's all about in-game adjustments and the lack thereof.
Yeah, and I'm going to make your second charge. I'm not even going to make it a charge, but I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to put too much of the blame at Meron Gordin's feet, because if I am going to give the JFF that same, blame for that same thing, I'm not going to put it too much on Meron Gordin, because I give you 1.5 months to prepare, and at the same time I say, hold that, keep a child, select, cut it down, then cut it down again. It's just too much to do, and then me I blame me for the preparation, the tactical preparation. One thing I can say, which is something good about Meron Gordin, for me to get to the place and a time for the good. Anyway, I'm with you, bro.
So the judge are going in content.
Man. I can say at this point I'm not a great liar. Anyways, another bad. We only had a plan A, bro. We only had a plan A. And that goes to your point, adjustment again. Our plan A is really good.
To the point that you just defended them against lack of preparation, not
doing. Yeah, bro,
I did talk.
Yes, we weren't prepared sufficiently, but whose fault is that? That is the JFF, not the coach. But anyways, We only had a plan A that I really like, and I'm going to make mention of it in the future. When we ran out of ideas and when the coaches made adjustments to that plan A, which is a very attractive one, we lost all our ideas. We didn't know what to do. We just started to concede goals. Your plan A is going to work for the most part for most of the game. But when that coach, because most of
your plan A must work for the most
of
the
game. It must.
You're playing again.
But if it is working, if you don't score 2 or 3 goals while the plan A work, that coach, both coaches, their primary job on the sideline is to see what the other team is doing. You already give your team instructions, so you want to see one, if they're executing your instructions, and 2, what is the other team doing to nullify what I am allowing my team to do.
That's why the JFF's delegation is half the size of the squad.
Yeah. So you have to see that. Somebody on the bench have to say, oh, them make them CDM drop deeper. Or them push up them somebody have to see that, and you have to make an adjustment to that. So we have no plan B, and that falls at the feet of the coaching staff and Meron Gordin. I have to blame me for that. You have to have a plan B, man. You have to say, all right, you have a 5 at the back, you have a 4 at the back. All right, more than 5 at the back, you turn primarily just in a tail. You know, too many times the 3 to a 5, and that's for the whole game. Whether we're up, whether we're down, that's just what it is. You know, this is our system. And then we go 1 man down, it seems like we don't have an idea. You know, what is our plan B? You know, how do we play when we don't have the ball? You know, when we play a team that's going to control the ball, what do we do?
And my thing is playing football, you know, coaching a team. If your primary option is not playing with 4 at the back or 4-3-3 with 1 or 2 holding midfielders, you have to have a system you play with 4 at the back. You have to practice a system with 4 at the back. That is a must. So fine, we're going to play 5, you have to know, so alright, go 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. That is a must. The team have to be able to can play with 4 at the back. That is a must. You get me? So because 4 at the back counteracts so many things, and so both offensively and defensively, and you have to can change to a 4 at the back if needs be. And as I said, that goes towards the third charge that I'm going to lay against the JFF's under-17 coaching staff, led by one coach Meron Gordin. You know, you are trying to shuffle all the blame onto the JFF for this one, but I have to ding him for preparing this team as well. You know, he got the team and he got the time in which he had to work with the team. No, I don't know, I'm not a coach. You know, so I might be the man from outside of the arena looking in from outside, but did your trials have to be this long? Does it take you so long to cut a team?
You be harsh. You be too hard. Bro, the Manning Cup prepare for 3 months. Teams prepare for the Manning Cup for the whole summer, bro. You can't give the man 1.5 months and tell himself to go make it to the World Cup. That's unfair.
As we said, that's what he got.
Yeah, but you can't say, wait, I say, should I turn down the job?
No, I'm saying, you take the job, and you know what the job come with, you have to accept the responsibility. As I said, me's a man we follow up the military life. Many officers and high-ranking soldiers would have been given a task to carry out. Let's go and capture the hearts and minds in Afghanistan. Fully well knowing that, you know, give little girls books to read and ask the tribal leaders to rat out the terrorist leaders and so on and so forth. We're going to go in and we're going to take the girls to school and we're going to give them books, and we're not going to push violence. Even though we're going to walk up and down at them community with rifles and handguns, but we're not going to push violence. We're going to just try to take hearts and minds, right? You give a general or a colonel 3 months for going in and turn this era from a war zone into a peaceful era, and telling him to kill as few people as possible, telling him not to discharge his weapon in any situation unless it's absolutely necessary, and then you decide what is necessary, not the man on the ground. You put him in the job, him go, him fail, him have to retire early. Him know that are the job, and you know say you fight a failing task, but when you go down with the ship, you are the commanding officer, you are the head coach. You have to take responsibility for it, regardless of the case.
Not even the soldier you mentioned right there, he's not even the head coach in that situation. The head coach is who is responsible or who
No, man, he's the head coach, the man who is responsible at the JFF.
That's him the captain still.
The top brass a White House, and then we send the top ranking officer going to the war zone, them would have been the JFF. Him we go, the leader of the battalion or brigade or whatever unit them send, he might be the head coach. He might be the head coach. Him get the job, them send him go foreign for do the job what him supposed to do. You can't do it, bro. Or you're a fault. Now them now go look and say, oh, yeah, say the people them in the White House or the Pentagon, you know, the chief of staff, we send them. Them now just say, oh, them send them in an unfair situation, so make him continue keep him job. No, you go. You fail. You never convert the
but what we say?
You get fired.
No, yeah, fine. And them hold him accountable, fine. If they want that and they find it fair, fine. But do we find it fair? I don't find it fair. I'm pretty any sensible person not gonna find that fair. But it is the job, you accept the job, fine.
Exactly.
And that's fine, bro. But the general public and we have opinions to make. You can't expect me for just give you a pass to put him in an unfair situation and then blame him at the end of the day for not making it.
We not give them a pass. We didn't give them a pass.
We never give them a pass. We give them a portion.
I'm guilty.
The thing is, you give them a piece of the blame for that. You give Meron Gordin piece of the blame.
No, man.
For the preparation, that's just.
Okay, with what you have,
make do.
You talk about a plan B, not having a plan B, that was because of lack of preparation. So
I'm not marking down for that.
For whatever reason it be, that's because you just weren't prepared enough. And I just don't think he went into the competition being prepared enough. No, I can't say with the time that he's given, he should have been more prepared. But then again, I can't.
You have to say that then.
I know, but I can also say, I can't say. I mean, can look and say, maybe if me to get the team in 2 months, I would have more prepared.
Like, you can say anything you want to say. You can say anything you want to say. But watch out now.
I said, the only thing
your charge got handing on. Your charge got. You can't make a charge unless you say Meron Gordin should have the better with the time we get. You have to say that.
And I'm saying Meron Gordin should have the better with the time we get.
There we go. All right.
If you don't qualify for the World Cup, you have for the better, you fail.
All right, boss. I agree with you on some things, but not all things. It's fair. It's fine. Anyways, good time. Let's talk about some of the good now.
Yeah.
Me gonna start on this note. A lot of the games we lost on situation. Not lost, but a lot of the results didn't go our way on situation. Especially those games with red cards. No, I'm a little bit more lenient to the coach and the team when they get a red card as that drummer. Because this is just stats, as we said in the last episode. When you go a man down, you are more likely to lose the game and you're more likely to concede. You're a lot more likely to. It's not even just a small percentage. You're going to lose or you're going to concede more goals. That's just a fact. So I'm not going to knock the coaching staff for that. So I guess this is I'm defending something that you'll probably say in the future or that you already said. No, another good thing that I want to give to Meron Gordin is the plan A worked. I like the plan A.
Until it didn't.
It worked until it didn't. I'm already knocking down for not having a plan B. But the plan A is some attractive football. I feel like we were using our strengths. I feel like a lot of the players, I feel like he got the best out of a lot of the players. And we saw some really good football. We were not trying to keep the ball too long. We were getting the ball up the pitch and we were scoring goals, bro. We were scoring goals. The problem for this team was conceding, not scoring. Yeah. You know, so the attacking football, and you play 3/4 in the back and still concede. Now, can slide that back over to the negative part. But the football itself, I like the way that Meron Gordin wanted this team to play football. Now, it could have been done better. Again, go back to preparation. But the football itself, our system is tactics. I feel like the plan A was a good plan A. What do you want to say?
I think out of all the youth football that I've observed, you know, probably all the football that I've observed, period, that Jamaica has played at any age group, I think this team played the most attractive. I think they played the best football. You know, I loved his ideas. In fact, his ideas is something that I've perpetrated long before Coach Gordin would have gotten a job like this. And I've said it before, I like playing at the back. I like having wingers that can go down and create. I like having our most creative player, playing a free role to create, whether from wide or in the middle of the field. I've said all of this before. I like having a dominant forward up front that will run hard and score goals. I like having holding midfielders who can create and who can make things happen. Bro, this is not something that I've just been saying right now.
No, and the truth is we've both been asking for the national team to play this way when Coach Whitmore was in charge.
Yeah.
You remember us saying, yo, play three at the back? We've been saying that for like the past 2 years. But carry on.
So seeing this and to an extent being proven right, because I know that we have the ability to play. We have the skilled players at all levels, and we have the pacey players at all levels to play this way. And our midfielders aren't the most technical of players, but we do have midfielders that can make things happen from time to time, which is why we weren't heavily reliant on our midfield. However, we make the midfield do what the midfield's supposed to do based on what the midfield can do. So, I really liked what I saw from Coach Gordon. So it showed him of promise.
But still not ready. That you're saying.
It showed that him have promise. I don't think he should be fired. He can get a next campaign. But still guilty for not qualifying. Well, we're not come to the verdict yet. But being the prosecutor of this, I still would say complicit for us not qualifying for the World Cup. However, the sentence is not going to be as harsh as I would say Coach Gale would have warranted and ultimately received.
Yeah,
and Coach,
I agree with you.
Nah, pick on nobody. You get me? I say, and Coach Blaine, so on and so forth. Yeah.
I agree with you on the final statement. No, before we even speak of the percentages, we have one more area, one more set of people to talk about. And we call them to the court. Players. Let's speak about the players. Let's hear the charges.
First of all, we have to first of all point out a few players that will be representing, the team and a whole. Just like how Meron Gordin stood in representation for his coaching staff. Because as I said, Andrew Peart, you're not free from the blame. Why your head coach can't make an adjustment where you're dead in fuck? You get me? I say, Andrew Sewell. We saw some woeful goalkeeping throughout this whole competition. Where they are doing the youth then. You get me? I say, because our goalkeepers are really good. They did not keep very well.
We see sparks. We see
them can keep. They did not keep very well. You get me? I say, so I don't know if you didn't have them adjusted. You weren't giving them good advice. I don't know what. But Mr. Sewell, you have blame for tech. You get me? I say. I guess that we can congratulate.
We can do attack, midfield, defense.
We can congratulate I'm still upon Meron team. We can congratulate the physio staff, and I guess the manager and technical director, because everything seemed to go as planned. But the people responsible for the football on the field, Coach Sewell, Coach Peart, and Coach Gordon, But we're not before we bring in the players, we are finding complicit guilty for the boys not qualifying to World Cup, guilty or not guilty.
No, I'm guilty, man. I feel like all parties will be found guilty. It's just how much of the blame they are going to take, or how much of the blame we are going to give to them.
You spoil the show, brother.
All right, guilty.
Coach Gordon and your coaching staff, fortunately, find a guilty, sir. Can't go man and bring back on a sentence time. And we have to bring the next players. I'm going to say them are represented by a few particular players. A team led by Twain Lynch, Asher Dixon, John Reed. Who else you say? Jamani Bell.
Jamani Bell leads the attacking line.
There's a few players who are leaders on this team. We are bringing into question.
Let's talk about it. Goalkeepers. Lynch and Grant, right?
Yeah.
South Sparks, I think they're both really good goalkeepers. Especially the last game, the Guatemala game, Grant came up against a lot of shots. He made some really good saves. Positionally, he could have been better. I feel like that's it.
And technically too, ball drop out of him hand, you get me? I say, just don't look technically sharp.
Yeah. But you can see that there is promise there. But for both of the goalkeepers, I think for Lynch, it may have been nerves or something.
Yeah.
Because he is better than that. I would know that for a fact.
Oh God,
Grant, really? For Grant, I feel like just needs a bit more work. as I said, my biggest thing with Grant was he was always out of position a lot of the time as a goalkeeper. You know, the one your far post out of door your name. Something just always off. You come out of your box too. Something. Just always had something.
Yeah,
And
I'm not impressed by Joshua Grant.
we,
I'm surprised he kept his spot going into the Guatemala game. To be honest, I was truly surprised because I don't think he was super impressive in the game before. I genuinely don't. The goal that scored on us, the first goal, should not have scored. You know, it's a bad goal to concede. It's a bad goal to concede. I don't think Twain Lynch conceded any bad goals. He didn't keep very well, but I don't think he conceded any bad goals where you can say, oh, all right, goalkeeper leading to that goal. But that goal, that should have been a catch. Yeah, he should have collapsed and catch that. I don't understand. So I think Lynch, in fact, I'm sure Lynch is a better goalkeeper. Certain. I'm surprised Joshua Grant kept his position going into the quarterfinals. However, Lynch was struggling with an injury from Tony Spalding, so that may have been it. You know, we saw him go down a few times, so I'm thinking that may have been it because based on what I've seen, I can't tell in any world why Grant would have started over Lynch.
Yeah.
Lynch is our future, but
the thing is,
poor.
The thing is, in terms of the goals that we conceded, we conceded some really good goals, bro. Think about some of the goals that we've conceded,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The only one Maholo goalkeeper completing is that one against Costa Rica. I think it was. But Grant's in leak. Him literally leak.
But he did make a penalty save in the Guatemala game, which you can't say no, man. Penalty for score, and every time a keeper save a penalty, it wasn't an awful penalty. Him save a penalty, give some props for that. But overall,
an awful penalty?
Huh?
You say it wasn't an awful penalty?
It wasn't an awful penalty.
The worst penalty I've ever seen. What do you mean it wasn't an awful penalty?
I watch it back. But yeah, see that I said
he didn't catch the ball.
Right. Him lay down great.
Him lay down on the ball.
Yeah, fine. But bro, you have to credit a penalty save to the keeper.
Yeah, of course. Big time him could have dived other direction and get tricked. But you're gonna tell me that wasn't the worst penalty? You have to go look hard to find a worse penalty than that one there, bro.
May I look again? But yeah, overall, my overall sentiment towards goalkeepers, underwhelming. I expected better. Let's move to the defenders, the defensive line. Yeah, you can lead down now.
All right. Bro, I think we have some good defenders.
Okay.
I don't see an Ethan Pinnock, but I see Damian Lowe's, possible Damian Lowe's. I genuinely see possible MLS talent, possible international talent in this team. You know, so I think we have good defenders, and I think when our defense is whole and focused, one of the best defenses I've seen in a minute. Yeah, they're very organized, led by Harry Dixon, who I think has a lot of work to be done on his game, but positionally is good, very strong, communicates well, and tackles very well. I think he's weak in all of the other areas, but he's a very good tackler. He's very good positionally, very aggressive, assertive defender. Harry Dixon. I'm not super sold on his future. He has a lot to work on, but a solid defender. Adrian Reed, I think Jamaica just discovered a centre back for the future. And I think he should own that position.
Centre back?
Central defenders are so hard to find. Good central defenders with size, technical
centre back or central defender?
Central defender and centre back are the same thing.
Oh, maybe central defenders.
Yeah. So good centre backs or central defenders are so hard to find. Who are good in the brain, good on the ball, good at the pass. Adrian Reed possesses all of that. And he shows clearly that he's competent enough at the tackle and out reading the game to play in that centre-back position or that central defensive position, not central defensive midfield. So I think Jamaica found a centre-back / wing-back, and I think he should hone and own those two positions. I'm not saying he's not an outstanding midfielder, and I'm not saying he would have made a great impact within the midfield. But I think that central defender is more value added to the national program. and a versatile centre back at that can push up into the midfield. So he can allow a Jamaica senior team to play many different positions without having to make substitutions, without having to fit square pegs in round holes, because he's a malleable peg that can seamlessly interchange between positions and do them all very well. Uses both feet well, very good tackler, IQ outstanding, and he's an outstanding passer, good footballer. Adrian Reed, take up your defending. Serious. We found a gem in Adrian Reed. I promise you. Alexander Gordin, in the lead up, has been inconsistent. But that you can defend. You know, and he showed me something in this tournament that I just simply did not know he had. And it's so obvious that they knew he had it. Because if you are going to make Ronaldo Barrett, who me didn't know could have kicked the ball based on that assist where he make the Jamaican bet. So if we see in the last game. And then we saw it eventually. So if me is Ronaldo Barrett and step up to that free kick it fine. Jamani Bell, fine. You know, and then you talk about maybe a foul because it's a foul at the end of the day. Fine. But Alexander Good stepping up and everybody walking away from it. I was like, where them know me to know? Come watch live with a whole heap in a Manning Cup. And he did it. He did exactly what he wanted to do. It's so incredible how confident he was. He's one shot at it. Imagine how much he's done it before. So he has that element to his game that is very impressive, that is very important for a player to have. And Adrian Reed is the next one who can kick the dead ball as well. Keep in mind, Adrian Reed, my favorite player on the team for all who don't know it. You know, I'm always a favorite player, and Adrian Reed is mine. Alexander good defender, solid defender. Trust and believe when I say a solid defender. And Malachi Molina, you know, I wasn't too bullish on him coming into the tournament based on the one game that I saw him versus Trinidad, which was an unfair assertion at the end of the day because of how good and consistent he was in this tournament. Malachi Molina was a bright and shining star. Doing everything and anything, you know, creating in the attacking wise and actually looking like a defender as compared to Bolt Barrett, who is the next talented one. I'm going to keep an eye on Bolt Barrett. Should be an interesting player for the future. But there are very many times, I don't know if it's a strategy or he's just winded, that he just looked as a third winger in a 4-3-3. A third forward, in a 4-3-3 as compared to Molina, who always would manage to come back in the right position and always managed to be attacking. So, good defenders, bro. You know, so what I can say about our defense, good defenders, I like what Meron and Gordin did with defense. I thought they were organized when they were at full stretch and when they were focused. And it showed why they only conceded when they did concede up to the quarterfinals. So, can't really knock the defense or the defenders too harshly, except for their lack of concentration, and then Meron Gordon's organization of the defenders when we face adversity.
Yeah, and that's my overall sentiment. A lot of very good players individually. Individually, the defense line, really good. I like them as players. It didn't come together very well for 90 minutes a lot of the time. You know, we saw sparks, we saw good defending here and there, but for 90 minutes, the defensive line didn't come together as well as I wanted it to. I guess that falls at the feet of the coach and that falls at the feet of whoever will take blame for preparation. Yeah. But individually, I like them. And again, a lot of great goals conceded. You know, yes, we saw some lapses. From the players. But we see goals scored from outside of the box. We see goals that we can't blame the keeper for because it was just placed perfectly. And we saw some really good goals.
Goals are defenders, them go to sleep.
And then we see that's what I said, we see lapses. We see some lapses. But some of the goals came from, midfielders not tracking their runners or man having too much space, especially that second goal from the Guatemala game or the first goal. Where their midfielders just had too much space and decided to take a shot and score. So let's move up to the midfield line because your individual assessment, I like it. So I agree with it. Let's talk about the midfielders now. I can start on this one. Mangatal, I feel like he's a decent player. You know, I saw the Trinidad and Tobago game and I wasn't impressed. I'm not sure why. I wasn't impressed. When he came into this competition, started slow again, but then picked it up. And I feel like towards the back end of the competition, he did a really good job. I would want him to improve on his awareness some more. I'd want him to improve on taking advantage of the space in front of him, which he did in the Costa Rica game. We saw him dribbling a lot and stuff like that. So I like his technical ability, but in terms of the mental side of the game, I can't say. You know, a lot of times you describe players as cerebral. I can't say he's one of the most cerebral players on the team. So and that's where I'd want him to improve if he's going to, be that central midfielder for Jamaica. Barrett.
Do you see that for him? Do you see, based on what you saw in this, him matriculating to that level playing for a senior team?
No, I don't see that for him.
I don't see a role for him. I don't see him as one of the players making that transition. Genuinely.
It's just not up here, sir. We just not see that type of
technically not out. Like, for example, if they take up the ball from the midfield and walk 3 man and I take some shot and I crack the post, then you could say, okay, we teach the game. But technically he's not superior either.
Yeah, I agree. Another player that I was impressed with, and he's tied for my favorite player at the tournament, is Barrett. He was a really good player in this team. He was one of the players that you expected to get at least a 7 from in every game. The vision on that kid, man.
So for me, the player of the tournament for Jamaica, in my opinion.
I can't fight it. I am so impressed with his vision, bro.
Yeah.
Especially that, when he get, not everybody, a lot of people can see the player there, but they can't quite execute the pass, and that is what we call vision. Yeah, you see it, but you can't execute it. And enough people didn't see it. So to be able to see it and execute the pass, that ball for Ben, when he caught it on the volley, impressive.
Countless diagonals that we see in the competition.
Yeah, so the diagonal ball, he has a diagonal ball. The only fault I can find of is sometimes he will drift in the game and just become absent. So I'd want him to be consistent through the whole 90 minutes or most of the game. But for the times when he's good. And I like, you asked me a while ago if he's one that I can see matriculating. If he improves, if I feel like his trajectory, I like where his trajectory is right now, and I feel like if he continues on that path, he has a shot.
Hard to not see him in the under-20s next year. Hard to see him.
There we go. So, who was the other player?
We had other players like Mahoney was there.
Yeah,
Cohen, he played some, but those players weren't really the mainstays. It was really Ronaldo Barrett and
Mangatal.
And then Jamani Bell came back for one of the games.
Yeah. As a line though, again, wasn't impressive. It didn't come together very well. And again, a couple of the goals came from midfield breakdowns, not tracking your man, giving too much space in the midfield, sitting off sometimes when we shouldn't be sitting off.
Because we for the first couple of games we only played with 2.
Could be.
And they weren't very diminutive.
It could be, but that's what happens when they play with a 3 at the back, or when they play with a 5 at the back. You don't have 3 midfielders, midfield 3.
And 2 midfielders, not Barrett or Mangatal or you'd say workhorses within the middle of the park. None of them.
I feel like that is what this team missed. Good for
I think they're both 8s.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are 10s, nor are any of them 6s. And I think they're both 8s, and that probably caused a gaping hole in the midfield.
Yeah, we needed a dog in the midfield. We needed somebody where I could just rip up every tackler. We didn't have that. So as a midfield line, it didn't come together quite well. But again, that goes back to preparation and that goes back to so that's what I have to say there. The attacking line now, let's talk about it.
Orion Watson, Jamani Bell, Ashton Gordon, Cohen,
and then
those are the people who Dylan John was there as well. Those are the people who would have been responsible for getting the goals for us. Jamani Bell, Adrian Reid for me, my favorite player on the team. Ronaldo Barrett for me, the player of the competition. Jamani Bell for me, the star man, the best player on the team.
Your assessment.
Yeah, so for me, that's my 3. And he really did provide many sparks, bro. He was the firecracker. The only way that we could get something from this competition was Jamani Bell being at his best, and I think his inconsistency is probably why we didn't go further than we went. So he's one of the players that I have to bring all the way up to the front of the courthouse and talk to that little fella and ask him a few questions. Not that he didn't provide sparks and moments, getting what was, bro, we scored so many good goals. I was just going to say what was the goal of the tournament for Jamaica, but then, think about it, like 4 goals, like Bell goal, the 2 free kicks,
Barrett goal
from however 4. They always scored some very good goals in this competition. But he provided a goal and an assist, and he really was there a firecracker. But I have to knock him on his inconsistency. You know, Jamani Bell is the Messi of our team. He's the Leon Bailey to our senior team. You know, he is the end all and be all of our attack. You know, everything that is something has to go through Jamani Bell because he's our most skillful and creative player on the team. And we didn't see that from him for a lot of the competition. You know, he came in and out in games, and I think to counteract this, Meron Gordin brought him into the midfield, you know, to get him more involved with the play, to get him on the ball more. And he did look lively from time to time, but he drifts too much in and out. And I can't say it was because he's being out-muscled or the physicality is getting to him, because I think he copes very well for his size. He copes extremely well in physical combat, in physical duels. But I just think inconsistency, you know, I think other teams identifying that he's in fact the star man that probably had an effect on his game, in addition to the fact that he was definitively the youngest player on the team, being 15 years old. So Jamani Bell is somebody that I can definitely see making strides. However, I have to put a lot of the blame because you are the star man on this team. You are a number 10. You have to go out and score goals and get assists for the team. You have to lead us to the World Cup, Jamani Bell. You have to. That's your job.
Yeah, a lot of your points I'm going to agree with. And Jamani Bell, I'm not too harsh. I think I'm okay with his performance in the tournament. I'm okay with Watson's performance in the tournament. And those were the two players that were responsible for doing things in terms of attacking for Jamaica. No, as a line, I'm pleased, bro. We scored 8 goals in 4 games. We averaged 2 goals a game. I feel like that's decent and I feel like that's good enough. Our problem was just conceding.
Oren Watson should have been better.
Oren Watson should have been better, but me I talk about as a line and how it came together. I feel like scoring 8 goals in 4 matches is not bad. Yes, we got goals from defenders. We got goals from
3 dead balls, 1 tracker from outside of the box. Let's make that very clear. Then we score 4 goals against Cuba. Think about it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But one, we scored in every game. We scored at least 2 goals in 3 games. And then, you know, we lost not due to the attacking line. I feel like that team just outplayed us and we're going to get to the Guatemala game.
There are 2 games that we scored 1 goal in.
Which
game and Guatemala game.
Okay, did we lose 2-1?
Yeah.
3-2? Yeah, we lost 2-1. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we scored enough goals to make it to the World Cup. I honestly believe that.
We scored a lot of goals, but I think
make it to the next round.
You said you were.
I'm pleased with the attacking line.
Okay with the front line. I wasn't. As I said, you know, Gordin scored a goal. Adrian Reed scored a goal. 2 defenders. And then Ronaldo Barrett scored 2 goals from a deep line playmaking position. You know, Oren Watson scored 2 goals against Cuba. Ashton Gordon, another forward, and Jamani Bell, another forward, scored a goal each against Cuba. So our forward line did not score goals.
Yeah, but it's not just the score goals, bro. It's about who created the chances, who won the free kicks. That's what it's about. So it's not just about putting the ball into the back of the net, which yes is their job primarily.
It did have chances. Ashton Gordon got a lot of chance. Oren Watson got a lot of chances. I thought Jamani Bell should have been. I'm not saying Jamani Bell had a bad turn by any stretch of the imagination.
But it could have been better, which I agree with.
Yes, if Messi was okay in this World Cup, if Messi was just over okay in this World Cup, in fact, if Messi was good in this World Cup, Argentina would have not won, and it would have been on Messi's shoulders. Rightfully so. If Messi had a World Cup where he scored 4 goals and got 2 assists, good World Cup. Not enough. Not the GOAT.
Bro,
Jamani Bell, you are the number 10. You are the man. You have to go out, and I'm not saying you have to score 4 or 5 goals, but you have to have a fingerprint on every single team, and you have to carry us to the promised land. Good tournament, not good enough from our star player. That's my assertion.
I hear you. We're going to give them some of the blame. Obviously, the players will get some of the blame. Overall, though, where do you think is the weakest part of the team? You know, on the pitch, what part of the team cost us this?
What part of the team cost us? And it's weird that you say what part of the team cost us, because I think the strongest aspects of our game, our defense and our defenders, is what cost us, and it's an oxymoron. we have Tiwain Lynch, who I am so pleased with as a goalkeeper, an outstanding goalkeeper, just did not give us a solid competition. I don't know if he was injured or what it may be, but losing confidence in the number one goalkeeper, that definitely must have had a hit on the team. Our defense, who I think, weirdly enough, people might beat me in the comment section for this, is the best part of our team. The best players on our team, are defenders, and we defended very well for the majority of the game. But I think it was also in defense that we lost out on the competition, making some mistakes, making some goalkeeper errors, so on and so forth. You said what part of our team is responsible for us not going to the World Cup? And I have to put the blunt of it on the back line in the last 20 minutes of the games. And then, though the midfield is our weakest aspect, I have to say our forwards, Oren Watson and Ashton Gordin, man, to have to score more goals. So it's so weird. If I'm giving out blame for not going to the World Cup, I have to go defense, attack line, then midfield. But if I'm to talk about the strongest parts of the team, I have to go defense, attack line, then midfield. So it's the complete oxymoron. It's weird.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna say one statement that I feel like wraps it up for me. If we had a stronger midfield, we would have probably make it to the World Cup.
And if we have an attacking line and a stronger defense.
No, I'm talking about if this midfield, if we just had a workhorse in the midfield, which we needed. I feel like there was just a gaping cry in the middle of that pitch, man.
All right, you said that. All right, suppose we had a Zach Lovelace that went out and scored 4 or 5 goals.
Bro, my point is, remember I'm already saying that I feel like we got enough goals to make it to the World Cup. I honestly believe that. The defense line, not at fault for some goals, but we conceded great goals. We conceded goals a lot of the time where the midfield, we saw a midfield breakdown. That is why I'm going to say, if that hole in the middle of the field was patched, I feel like we'd have seen better performances with what we got from the team here. If we had Lovelace, who is to say we still wouldn't have conceded. If Bell scored one more goal or had one more assist or whatever, who is to say? Yeah, the midfield problem would still be there.
And then you say if both Barrett had been smarter as a defender, if Alexander Gooden, I'm not saying he should have gotten a red card, but jumping like that is not a yellow card, but that's a stupid free kick to give away. You get me? I say, like, had we conceded the free kick and then them banging the free kick away, we would have said, what the hell are you doing, Gordin? Allow me to tell? It would have been like, that's a silly free kick to give away. So I'm not saying that he should have been yellow carded for that. But it was a defensive error that led to him getting the red card. It was an error on his part, like a silly handball that should not have happened. If you think about it, he should have kept his hands to himself. Keep your hands by your body, jump for block a shot. What are you doing? Not a yellow card, shouldn't have been sent off, but it was a mistake on the defender's part that cost us that game, if you think about it.
Sure, and as I say, the points that you made about the defense, I understand it. As I say, that's important, because in that game, Gordin was our best player, but at the same time, it cost us in the game. So it's weird if you really break down the games. But yeah,
I think the midfield is the weakest part of our game. However, I do think mistakes and situations cost us, and I think our attacking line should have been better.
Referee, you get piece of blame. You're just tell you that.
Boy, the referees in the I wish we did find him name and we could have bring him to court, but we now have intelligence, we now have CTOC, so we now have SWAT and CIB, so we can't find.
It didn't even work the highlight now. We didn't even want to talk about them guys, but them on the cost with that. Overall, the refereeing in this tournament is not been good.
Yeah, so like just generally, I've seen some of the other games and just generally poor officiating all across the board. It has to be better.
Yeah, so let's talk about percentages. We have 100%. We have a big figure.
They don't want to bring Adidas United, no.
Adidas good, man. Adidas good. No Adidas.
At least me Adidas, so we can find somebody innocent. This is such a big court there. Talk about Adidas.
Put a charge in front of them.
Bro,
not sending goalkeeping. Not sending goalkeeping.
Exactly. What is going on with the goalkeeping kits? You're literally one of the biggest sporting organizations in the whole entire world. Like, is it that they don't have any respect for Jamaica? No. Could that be the reason why Tiwayne Lynch and Joshua Grant performed the way that they performed.
They didn't feel comfortable. They didn't feel comfortable. They didn't feel respected.
Exactly. And I felt disrespected too. Because, bro, they probably look upon Lynch and say, all right, bro. They probably look upon Lynch and say, the same warm-up where come the match, Lynch and Grant, because they both were in it. Take it off, give me them, I'm going to print the something them on it real quick and give it back. So you literally have to take off him warm up right now if you're seeing
them probably have iron board and iron and the sticky vinyl and a printer in the dressing room.
You see Lynch right now, as them are come out of the bus, I walk to the tunnel, Theme owner have number 1 on it and Grant owner have 13 on it, while everybody else own, I got just black. Because them literally set the man them warm up. And then in the other game, you send this blue kit.
Without Chris.
It not have no Chris. Like, bro, I think there's a chance that impacted the goalkeeping performance, and then the goalkeeping wasn't great, and as such.
Damn.
So, what you have to say in Adidas defense?
Innocent.
I said, what you have to say in them defense? We never ask.
I can't defend them. I have nothing for them. I have to go straight to the ground.
Something for them. Like, they make the players playing style. And I think because
we keep them already with all of that already. Right now we are trying to
talk about how it affects the under 17 the World Cup, bro. That's what we're talking about. Focus, man. The player them look good, and when they look good, they play well. So I think playing in the jersey that they played in, I think it affected their performance positively. We saw them have new socks, and we saw them wearing the inside out jacket.
Again, not everybody had new socks.
Yeah.
So is that really a good thing?
Bro, because
did that affect Jamani Bell's drop off?
Probably.
See me I talk about, but ultimately though, how do we find Adidas?
Though the crimes or though the charges that were pressed against them, are of egregious actions, I don't think those actions, though terrible, are complicit in us not qualifying for the World Cup. So not find Adidas innocent.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Remember, we did say innocent and not guilty are two different things. We find them not guilty of that.
We find them not guilty.
Yeah.
We find them they're not guilty of Jamaica not qualifying for the World Cup.
There we go.
Other 3 defendants are.
All right. So guilty, but then we have a share of blame.
Right.
Just for the fun of it. So we have 100%. How much of the blame you give the JFF? How much of the blame you give the coaching staff? How much of the blame you give the players?
I've never necessarily been one that's good at math. That's always been my weak point. So please excuse me if my professor...
Stay on multiples at 10 though. Stay there. So if you have the 10, then the 30, or the 20, then the 60.
The thing about it, bro. If I say the prime numbers, each percentage, and it come to like 127 or something like that. At least people are gonna say like, fine, the number then did hard to add up. But if I use multiples at 10,
I get it wrong.
Like 110 or 120.
Write it down. Use a calculator, boy.
Not a good look. But let's get started. Boy, I think the players are the most complicit in us not going to the World Cup.
Whoa.
And I'm giving them the majority of the blame. I think for Jamaica's lofty standard, especially as compared to the last youth competition that we saw, where our players were supreme and they were affected or afflicted with bad coach syndrome, that stopped them from qualifying for the World Cup. I just don't think our players, though good, were good enough. And I think the Guatemala game was indicative of that fact. I just don't think these set of players that were sent forward, some of them are.
You blame them for not being good enough?
Yeah, but as a whole, I just don't think they're good enough to compete with the top boys in CONCACAF. The mistakes that they made, we saw some mistakes. Joshua Grant, like Xavier Gooden, Bolt Barrett, Ashton Gordon, Oren Watson, Malik Robinson, Adrian Reed. We saw the only person I can say that was so good that there's no mistake of note is Malachi Molina. So good and consistent throughout the whole competition. Everybody else, is just did something that costed us or could have been better. Ashton Gordon, I really expected a lot more from him. Oren Watson started off with a bang and I'm like, he's going to score 6 goals. And he could have, had he been better. So I just think the players have to shoulder the majority of the blame.
How much?
Jamaica not qualifying for this World Cup. And I think I have to go with the players are 40% complicit. 40% the reason why we did not qualify for the World Cup.
All right, you have 60% this.
And the
Yes,
players.
I make sure you stay upon. You know,
Such a considerate colleague. You know, I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed myself on the YouTube.
all right.
And then I hate to beat this new JFF because they've been slowly stealing my heart. But I have to give them the second most blame. I'm gonna give the player them 50%. The player them have 50% of the blame because them have to be the majority. I think the players had to be better. They weren't good enough. Made too many mistakes. Then the JFF, 30% of the blame. Yeah, I think not preparing this team good enough. Matter of fact, the JFF 35% of the blame.
You just have to stay upon multiples of 10, you know? Jesus.
But the gap is too wide. It's not great enough. Like I wanted to say something along the lines of like 37, 38 thereabout, but I'm not gonna do that. You get me? So I'm gonna keep it to 35. I think them not doing enough to get us the best players possible to play. Played a big part in us not qualifying for the World Cup. Them setting up a camp. Like this camp should have been. This camp should have at least been a thing from the summer. They knew that this competition was coming up in January, summer after the season finished, when all of the boys, whether overseas or whatever, they should have a summer training camp. Think about it. That was so ideal for them to spend some time together in the summer. I think that would have been absolutely perfect if them could have get the boys in Jamaica for a camp in the summer from June to September. Break again, reassemble in November. I think that would have been way better. I think in the first month, Coach Gordin could have selected his team and they would have like 5-6 months working with them on and off, sporadic camps, plus like a 2 months over the summer, then a 2 months before the competition. I definitely think we'd have yielded better performances. I probably think we'd have probably put a better team together, probably seen better players, because maybe there are better players who could have been incorporated into this team, and the boys would have been playing together, hence improving the boys' performance. So I have to give the JFF 35 to 40% of the blame.
35 or 40%?
That's me say, bro. I want to do it like 37, bro, but I can't do the maths.
Just pick 35 then. Or pick 30, just pick.
If a 40, it would have been 10% for Gordon.
Yeah.
But I think Gordon have a little bit more.
Then the 35?
Alright, I got 35. Coach Gordon, 15% of the blame. I'm not going to the World Cup. Yes, people might be saying, oh, you're so lenient. Because I've been hearing a lot of people calling for Coach Gordon's head. I don't think he should be fired.
I don't think so.
I don't think there's much better unless you can get us like, Potter might be available very soon. So, so like, if you can get us that level, then by all means, right? But it's going to be hard to replace Meron Gordon, based on what he gave us, and I like the direction that he's taking Jamaica football in. I think that's how we should play. But I definitely do believe that his inexperience costed him in this competition. He could have handled himself better in the technical area. He could have marshaled his troops better. And I think, in addition to the JFF not providing enough preparation for the boys, he could have prepared them a bit better with the time that he had. So I'd have to have Meron Gordon shoulder 15% of the blame. As we say, I do that get wet by the skin of them teeth.
The skin of them teeth, boy. Here we are going now. See, look at me, see kind of different. Because I believe the biggest reason for us not making it to the World Cup is time preparation. I feel like that was the biggest thing.
You think so?
Yeah. And I agree with the fact that we should have been preparing from at least June. If we think about that, the competition starts in February. Yeah. So let's just say, let's count January. So from June to January, that'd be 7 months. If July come down 7 months, we got 1.5. From 7 or at least from 8, at least 7 to 1.5. That's a lot. And I feel like that, the preparation and time, that really cost us our chance to make it to the World Cup. And along with the fact that we couldn't get our best players, that again cost us. So where you see it as the players not being good enough, me I say me not gonna blame a man for not being good enough. Me I gonna blame the person them where I learn for being in that position.
Who can you
No, I'm not talking about his performance not being good enough.
Yeah, but how can you not blame a man for good enough? So for example, see,
bro, we can't blame him for not being good enough. Me blame who pick you.
Listen to this. The JFF have these boys preparing for 2 years. Coach Gordin come out and have and extract the best out of these boys. Them don't make it to the World Cup. Who shoulders the blame?
Who shoulders the blame?
Simply because
we can't blame him for their performance.
No,
but
we
can't blame him for not being good enough, bro.
They performed as best as they possibly could, but them not go World Cup.
Well, my point is, bro, we still can't.
Bro, I'm not saying.
I mean, I agree with them. I can't look at a man. I can't look at a man and say, oh, I know you're not this good, but you should have been this good. You're not that good.
I'm not saying, bro, I'm not saying them should have been good.
Blame them for them performance, not their ability.
The question is, who will blame for the boys not going to the World Cup? Me not say them should have go World Cup. Me never once said that out of my mouth. So I'm not saying, oh, yo, you should have been better and go to the World Cup. Me not say that. The question is, who is at fault for them not going to the World Cup? So fine, if me and you just not good enough to do a thing, and we don't accomplish it, I still our fault I will not accomplish it.
You know the point I try to make is, it's not the players' fault that they're not good enough. It is the JFF's fault for putting them in that position. Pick better, and that's where me I go shift it. Is it me? Don't pick the man that want to good enough. Get the players that you need to get, because we can get better. No, if it was a case where we can't get better, then we'll probably go with you. But we can get better, so I will never get better. JFF are your fault. 50%. 50% more.
JFF, how much will you give them? 35.
But a big gap that. But 50% may I get the JFF.
I'm gonna say, may I lean to 40, bro. But
bro, you just have to get the best. You have to get the best. Like, it's that simple. And you have to get the man enough, the team enough to have a prepare. JFF, 50%. Much me have 50. Alright, so may I go players next, obviously. But I feel like their performance could have been better. So the players get 30. I mean, I give Meron 20 because they never adjust in a situation that we need to adjust. So it's a JFF 50% of the blame, the players 30% of the blame. And Meron get the rest of left. No, right now more I make 1 more percent. And put for Adidas, but I'm not gonna do it.
Them get it, bro. But it egregious. The socks thing, bro. Me I watch the woman.
Almost the Meron 19, man. Almost. I was this close.
No, we don't find them not guilty already, so we can't reintroduce them, Bridget. Remember, so you have prejudice laws. Yeah. Where once you find somebody not guilty, you can't go back off of them again. You get me? So
you know what? Me I go put this out there. Anyone or set of people I was found guilty today, you have the right to appeal.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know,
appeal and they could do it again. Retrial, dismiss, talk to it.
We mentioned the key players, Jamani Bell. Come talk to you about your performance, kid. Tiwin Lynch, were you injured, bro? Were you injured? Because you are the best Caribbean goalkeeper.
Meron, them give you 1.5 months. You want to come talk to it?
Yeah, especially me.
Yeah.
You know, because even though Rush gave you a bit more blame than I did, it seemed as though I was more critical. Why today's a
percentage of the blame, bro. It's not just the blame.
Oh yeah, for real. You're right. So basically, you were probably blaming a bit less than I'm blaming.
Blame him less than you blame him.
Yeah.
But
he believes that he was less responsible for us qualifying for the World Cup, and I just believe that the players were more complicit. But yeah, this are that Sports TV Courthouse.
Yeah, dog. It was a good show. Overall, we didn't make it to the World Cup. Coming into the tournament, we had a show, and we weren't excited at all. We had Simon on, and we all said that we don't think that this team quite possess, what it takes to make it to the World Cup. In hindsight, I believe that this team could have made it to the World Cup, but if we had more time to prepare, bro, I feel like this team could have done better. At least make it to the quarterfinals. And we underachieved, we failed, and we just didn't achieve our goal. So that's how we see it. JFF will have some blame. Coach, you have some blood for your hands too, and the players could have done better.
Inversely, I see it a bit differently from you. I don't think we would have gotten past the likes of a Canada, a USA, a Mexico. As I said, Guatemala were outstanding. There's some other good players. I don't think that we'd have had the wherewithal to push past that final level.
And who say could I get past Puerto Rico to who say?
Well, put them beat Costa Rica, like that's crazy.
That's it.
But that was bitterly and utterly against the runner play. It was almost farcically against the runner play. And bro, it's such a day of oxymorons, bro. This whole conversation we've been having, it's been so contradicting. You see the goal where Costa Rica scored?
No, I'm gonna see the game. You see the result.
Ball is a ball where like they might clear the ball and it bounce off our player. So they might clear the ball, it bounce off our player and go back into the goal in like the 90th minute. That's how Costa Rica managed to push the game into extra time. Keep in mind, Costa Rica lick the post, them save, them keep a save. And it was a clearance that bounced off a player and basically just take it time and just drop in at the goal. That was how Costa Rica finally scored after pressuring Puerto Rico for the whole game, hitting the upright so many times, and little that goal of Costa Rica come score in the 90th minute. Now, imagine how Puerto Rico feel. Managing to go 90 minutes with Costa Rica about to pull off this upset, and you see that goal there, score by you. Now, how you feel? But them still go extra time and go with them again extra time, them keep a safe penalty, everything. Just went for them except that one goal that they conceded. It's so weird. It's so weird how Costa Rica actually scored in that game.
Yeah, and the thing is, bro, when you don't have the quality like some of the other teams, you need really good coaching. You need a coach that is just going to put the players in the best position.
And good luck.
You need some luck. You need luck at the draw too. Because right now.
And missed 3 penalties.
Yeah.
Jamaican and lose to Costa Rica in Puerto Rico to that penalty shootout.
No, we shouldn't have lost to Costa Rica either. We shouldn't have lost to what else. But you know what? It done. Link me back next year. We need to talk about under 20. I will see what for go on. We have a female thing to talk about soon. So you see it. People, are we that? What do you guys think about our trial today? Was it unfair?
Yeah, I think, bro, we got a court. It
was a full day's work, bro. 122, 122 minutes.
Yeah, as we said, I think we gave everybody a fair trial. We listened to them. It's unfortunate that they're all guilty.
Yeah, unfortunate. Except Adidas.
And bro, we have the woman them to talk about.
Yeah,
let's see if Adidas are gonna get to it in that trial.
All right, boss. Are we that people? Are we that if you like?
Sidney Snyder, Rebecca Spencer, and have no crisp on them. You know what?
I don't lie. I will be not conceit up. But you know what? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it after this, people. If you like this episode of Studio Talk, though,
like the episode.
Just like, bro, it's free.
Bro.
It's free. Help me. It's free. Just like the thing. But even not asking for nothing, bro. Just like the thing. You don't take nothing out of it. If you like the show, man, just like it. Subscribe to this other sports TV. Bro, give me a chance, dog. I want to.
And one more thing. Share the video to at least 10 people. And if each and every one of you guys can manage to get us just 6 subscribers, you know how many subscribers that get us by the end of the day?
Wow, holy. For now, this is another episode of Studio Talk. Jesus Christ.
All right, go to work. The attorney at law, it kind of...
People, the show me have to deal with. And the show is a hard day when we come here, so come sit down, you know. Well, anyways, this was another episode of Studio Talk. Take it away, my brother.
And this was Decided Sports TV.
Yeah. Out.
That is it.